New York City banned homeless people from the subway. Asmongold reacts. Yeah. So we got it. We have to. I'm sure it'll be really good input from Asmongold about how material conditions not being met is really bad, because then homeless people exist and they're homeless, and not the homeless people are stinky and gross and I don't like them. I'm sure it'll be good.
There's a lot of homeless people that are in New York. New York City just banned homeless people from the subway. I wonder why. I wonder what could possibly have been the reason for that.
Beneath the glimmering sidewalks of Herald Square, homeless outreach workers are pleading with a man with bare feet. Others approach another man who refuses to move.
This breaks my heart right here.
Mayor Adams is determined to change.
So every winter when temperatures drop, the subway sadly turns into a place of refuge for New York City's homeless. And while the city has plans to relocate unhoused individuals out of America's largest public transit network, activists say the homeless have a right to use the subway how they see fit.
You see how they got? Look.
Yes, let's laugh at the anti-homeless architecture. Oh, it's so funny that people who are too poor to afford housing can't even have a comfortable place to sleep. That's so funny. Yeah.
What if you're a fat ass? Like, I mean, damn. Yeah, that's...
Sorry, silly me. It's a joke about fat people. Obviously, duh. Come on, highbrow humor only here.
It's bad. You stop it? Oh, that's true.
To use the subway how they see fit since it's open to the public. But as it turns out, the mayor has plans to change that.
We are getting a better idea of the progress being made under the Adams administration's controversial overnight homeless outreach program.
This is a picture-perfect example of why we should not be saying he has a right to be out there. He doesn't know he needs help.
On a crowded subway station, you've got half the subway.
Yeah, you're right. In the freezing cold, we should send the homeless people somewhere else. Okay.
Cars taken up with people who are sleeping. They're not committing a crime per
Christ.
se here, but this is a symptom of a larger problem.
Yeah, it is.
Sad-looking storefronts here underground where you could once grab a slice or a newspaper or a coffee. Of 195 retail spaces in the subway system, only 52 of them are open for business. A vacancy rate of nearly 75%.
I have two young boys. They're 9 and 13. I don't want my boys walking around that. I don't feel they're safe when we see that.
It's about
of course. I mean, like, because the thing is that this is another one of those situations like what I was telling about before.
Like, these people's ideal situation is just to kill the homeless people. Like, forget about not in my backyard. It's just like, I don't want to see them. I don't care if they get sent to the homeless people grinding machine. I just don't want to see them.
Is that I've had to deal with a lot. Like, this is in Austin, right? You think Austin gives a fuck about homeless people? Like, we don't give a fuck. Like, the cops don't give a fuck. Like, nobody gives a fuck. So, like, you just got homeless people. They're building rest spaces. They're building they got 2-story rest spaces under a bridge. Like, I take pictures of it, right? Because it's like, damn, that's crazy. I never thought, I didn't even think you could do that. Yeah, Hobotopia. Yeah, exactly, right? Honestly, it's impressive. I kind of like looking at them, right? And so show it. No, and so like the cops don't care, like nobody cares. But I do think that like the problem is that every once in a while you do have one of them that's like aggro, right? And like this is it's
one of them. What? You mean to tell me that people who have been homeless for long periods of time, who haven't had any stable housing, food, clean water, or clean clothing, or hygiene products, that after enough time has passed, they begin to develop mental problems from being homeless? I would have never guessed that. I would have honestly, I just thought they were fine. I thought they were just doing it because they were mean. Yeah.
It's the same thing what I said before about how, like, kind of 99% of these people are just fucking, like, their life sucks so bad they don't want to have anything to do with you. They just want to sit there and like, exist. But the 1% that's, like, hostile or aggressive, they're the ones that everybody thinks about.
This is so frustrating because, like, has Asman even been to New York before? Has he? I think he'd be surprised to find that the train stations in New York are cleaner than his house, which is saying something. This, like, massive homeless people violence problem in New York, I lived there for 20 years. I took the train every single day. Stop trying to scare people who don't live there. Please, just fucking stop.
Right? 90% mental illness? Yeah. Yeah, you pull that. Yeah, you don't want to pull aggro on that 1%, right?
Understanding our responsibility to help people who are in desperate need but just can't recognize it themselves. And there's nothing respectful about leaving somebody to rot.
That's actually a really good point, is that a lot of the people, I think that they usually don't have places to go in a lot of cases. And sometimes they do, but, like, for whatever reason, they can't go there. And it's just very problematic, extremely problematic. But, like, if you put these people in a place with the public, you're going to have a lot of friction, and it's going to create...
If you put these people... Sorry, let me send the homeless people to the mines.
It's going to be bad for everybody. It's bad for the homeless people, and it's bad for the public, too. It's like everybody loses.
I'm sorry. How is it bad for the homeless people to be able to go into the subway and sleep somewhere that is a little bit warm in the winter? How is that bad for them? When did the homeless people stop being a part of the public?
That one guy set her on fire. Yeah, no, he's just a psycho. Like, I mean, you set people on fire. Like, normal people don't set other normal people on fire, right? Like, that's psycho behavior.
Starting to say the subway is turning into an underground wasteland. And we're going to investigate this wasteland to see how bad it really is. But what nobody wants to admit is that you could drastically decrease the number of people living down here.
Why does he care anyways? Republicans hate public transport?
If you do more to help them live somewhere else. But our subway is actually a mess of New York City's own making, with crime and lawlessness so out of control down here. There is still a force of National Guard troops.
Yeah, they got a lot of people down there. Like, this is what they need to do. Like, because, I mean,
no!
The thing is that if you...
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Sorry. It's so insane to me to potentially, I don't know his life story. I've never been to New York or lived in New York. And then talk about what New Yorkers need. You don't live there. You don't know what it's like to live there. It's fine to live there. I promise you, we don't need the fucking National Guard making sure that people swipe their Metro card so that they pay their $3 fare. I actually don't give a fuck about fare evasion. I actually don't think that the police should be fucking attacking people for fare evasion. I don't think that the police should be beating up homeless people for trying to find a warm place to sleep. It's just insane to me. It's so crazy to me. It's insane. You know what? I think I'm with Asmongold on this one, actually. Just don't choose the homeless class when you're born. I don't know what the big deal is. You're so right.
It's like a problem that gets worse. So, like, if you know that you can go down there and act the fool, you're going to have way more people doing it. Everybody's going to be doing it because now you know that's where you can go and do that. And so you have to have these people there, and it makes itself worse and worse and worse. It's a snowball effect. Exactly, yeah.
Deployed throughout the system, monitoring it for dangerous activity, along with thousands of extra police, and city leaders know that the second they pull out, the criminals are just going to come right back. But you know something? Lawlessness doesn't stop at physical crimes like robbery and assault, which still take place down here because troops aren't riding the trains. The lawlessness down here also includes fare evasion, which costs the city roughly $700 million a year in financial losses. And
$700 million. If it
Why isn't the public infrastructure generating profit? No. This is so horrible. Next, you're going to tell me that courthouses don't generate profit. Next, you're going to tell me that USPS doesn't generate profit. How could this happen? No, the system that's developed to make the city better, that's being funded by tax dollars, isn't generating profit? Let's spend another $100 million. You know what? $100 billion on police, just to be safe. Quick question. How much money do our highways generate? How much money do freeways generate in profit? Because I think if there are any that aren't profitable, we should put tolls on them immediately. I think we should put tolls on them immediately. I think that that's only fair, actually. I think that only makes sense, actually.
If it costs $700 million to have fare losses, wouldn't it just be better to have somebody there and pay them like $100 grand a year to just stop them from doing that? Like, because I feel like if you have the logic, like,
yes, pay one guy $100 grand to watch the hundreds.
Hey, chat, if you guys can help with a friend's shitty situation, that would be great link.
The hundreds of turnstiles in New York? How much could one banana cost, Michael? $100,000.
Couldn't you save a bunch of fucking money? But why did they not figure this out? 700 million is nothing. Yeah, but 10 million to pay the guys to sit there is even less. So I feel like it makes sense. Yeah, it's crazy. No, the thing is like who knows where the money goes? Yeah, I know. It just doesn't. Japan has a system like that. Yeah, no, that's what I would. Yeah, for sure. You can't have people that are crossing the shit and not paying. What the fuck?
This is such a not New Yorker take. Like, you can only have this opinion as someone who isn't a New Yorker. Because I know for a fact that if he was a New Yorker, because every single New Yorker complains about it, he would be complaining about the fact that the prices keep going up. Last time I was in New York, it was $320. Was it $325 a ride? No, $290. It looks like is the current one-way trip right now. It's still under $3. Okay. All right, that makes sense. That's and this is the frustrating thing about this. It's like if you talk to anyone who actually lives there, and you're like, hey, what do you think about like people jumping the turnstiles? What do you think about that? People fair hopping. Every single person, I promise you, will tell you, huh? Get that fucking camera out of my face. I don't give a fuck about that, you fucking narc. And they would walk away. And if you ask them what's the biggest problem in the trains, they'd probably tell you that they're not clean and that the prices are too fucking expensive. It's so absurd to me. It's just so insane to me. Oh my God.
Well, everybody did that.
I spent a semester in New York City for school. Not a single person ever complained about people fare evading. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. The thing is, Americans are so like car brained. They're such car cells. They don't understand that having a working train system, because like you can shit on New York trains a lot, and trust me, everyone in New York does all the time. But over the course of many, many decades and a lot of labor, the trains have actually gotten pretty decent. Like, if you miss a train, it's like usually in rush hour, it's like a minute or two. At worst, if you live on like a really abandoned-ish station, 15 minutes maybe. People value that service enough that most Americans, if they knew what it was like, would pay tax dollars to subsidize it because it is a significantly better experience over owning a fucking car and having to drive everywhere all the time and pay for gas and pay for repairs and pay for insurance and pay for parking. And you have to be fucking sober. You can't even drink and drive anymore, dude, because liberals ruin everything. So frustrating.
That you couldn't run the system. Automatic turrets. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. They got the turrets? Damn. All right.
When the MTA arrests fare beaters, they tend to have active warrants. On top of that, a high-profile court case involving Jordan Neely, a homeless street performer with 42 prior arrests, has city officials admitting more people could unknowingly be putting themselves and others in harm's way. And that brings us to the real reason why the city is now taking drastic steps to move people
42? Oh, no. That dude, that dude went ape shit. That dude was going wild.
Homeless, living in the subway, out of it. It puts people with mental health issues at risk.
Like, and that's the thing is that Jordan guy, like, that guy, I mean, obviously somebody needed to stop him because he's coming at somebody with a knife, right? Obviously. But he should have never been in public to begin with. Like, realistically, he should have never been there. He should have been in a mental institution. He should have been in jail. He should have been in a place where people were taking care of him. There's just something wrong with him. There's something massively wrong with him. And if you don't do that, you put
every knife in the room with us.
Everybody at risk. And this is the problem that people... Greenland, yeah, exactly. That's why we're buying Greenland. We're going to put all of them in Greenland.
Fair for a city that spends as much money as New York does every year not to do more to help people who think this is the only place they have to stay. And with the city set to
you think about how much money the state spent on not Jordan Neely, but what's the guy that killed him? I forgot his name. Daniel Penny. How much money the state spent on Daniel Penny proceedings? Millions of dollars. Like, I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars spent dealing with this guy, processing him, getting him around, trials, conversations, interviews.
Ugh, due process. That sucks, dude. We should remove due process. Honestly, we should just go back to monarchy. That's a good system for sure.
The fucking media. Millions of dollars.
I think we should have a system where people kill other people and they get away with it if they feel like it. That sounds like a good system to me.
When you could have just spent maybe $1 million to keep this guy taken care of, and that's it. That'd all be it. The West has become too tolerant to people that misbehave. The problem is that it is a form of self-indulgent tolerance that is built around trying to make a person feel good and not trying to solve a problem. So these people care more about doing what is optically the right thing.
Who are these people? Who are these people? I believe in policies that work. Guess what? Housing first works. Putting homeless people in housing, helping them get back on their feet is better for everyone. It's better for the people who hate homeless people, want to see them in the meat grinder because then they don't have to see them anymore. It's better for the homeless people, which I care about the most because they get to, not be homeless anymore. And it's better for your taxpayer dollars, okay? Because they are no longer a drain on society when they can try to get their life back together when they have even a little bit of help. Who are these people who are being so woke and they're ruining this country by being so woke?
But they don't care about actually solving the problem. Because and this is what I was saying before about how...
And look, you got me an Asmongold video. You should have QTC dead.
Gugger, sorry. Sorry.
It's like this performative, selfish empathy that people have. I think this is a great example of it right here. Activism starts when action starts. Or stops when action starts. Yeah, exactly. Does the U.S. have forceful institutionalization? I mean, for crazy, crazy extremes, yeah. But we used to, and
this is the biggest dipshit take you can have. The biggest dipshit take you can have is pretending to be smarter than other people by being totally unempathetic and saying, actually, I think it's cool to hate homeless people and think they should all be institutionalized. Then it'll definitely fix our problems. You are so unbelievably dumb to think that the homeless problem in America would be solved if we simply institutionalized or jailed all of them. Because you didn't actually fix the thing that made them become homeless in the first place. And you didn't put any systems in place to help people stop becoming homeless. You're still going to continue to have homeless people. We're just going to fill our prisons with Americans. Our prisons will be 90% Americans who just keep getting homeless because we're not doing anything. It's insane. But then you pretend like you're the intellectual because actually I'm willing to sacrifice the homeless people into the homeless crushing machine. You're not smart for being a douchebag, okay? You're not smart because you're willing to sacrifice people who aren't you. If you cared about solutions that worked, you would solve people's material conditions. You would solve the reasons people become homeless, like rising rent prices, inflation, etc. And you would put systems in place that would help people recover from homelessness, like housing first policies that have been tried in many states, that have been tried in many cities, and are proven to work and to be the best thing for a city's economy and just morally. Just morally. But the problem is that when you're this detached from society, when you're at the point where you're a right winger and you're a millionaire, and you never leave your house, you genuinely buy into the narrative that you can't help people and have it be the most financially beneficial thing for a city. It's just not possible to be good and make money. No, we have to put them in the homeless crushing machine. Obviously. It's like a brain disease. To actively look away from policies that work, that happen to be empathetic and happen to be the best financial decision for a city. Because you just don't believe that things can be good in multiple ways. Stone Corbell, thank you for the 23 months. Mooski, thank you for the Prime copyright. Thank you for 40 months. Thanks, guys. Hassan Scam Coin, thank you for the 13 months. Prozac, thank you for the tier 1. Oh, man.
System we used to have was also really, really, really bad. So we got rid of it, and we let them loose. It's all performative. Yeah, that's it. A bullet probably only costs a few cents, right? No, you can't shoot people that are crazy, because like the thing is that this is the way I see it. Like if you like, I pay my taxes every year. Like my family pays their taxes every year. If we have somebody in the family that's nuts, I would want my tax money to go towards the government taking care of that person. And so like, you can't just shoot the crazy people, because those people's families have paid into this system to take care of them, right? Like that's it. They take it. Yeah, exactly. Right. Taxation's theft. It can't be. Taxation is not theft. Theft implies ownership. The government defines ownership. If the government can define ownership, they can also define what is not ownership. You don't own anything. It doesn't exist. It's all a construct.
It's controversial congestion pricing scheme, which will tax drivers who refuse to use the subway. The powers that be have decided that if they're going to punish
I don't have any words, man. I can't.
Everyone who doesn't use our dangerous public.
That was like 40 levels too deep for me to even consider. Like the levels of stupidity on display. I just didn't even consider that, like, you could say something so meaningless. My brain didn't even consider it, dude. It's been too long without the mold. I forgot. I grew weak.
Public transit networks, they better not do it while also punishing the homeless by neglecting them. But as you're about to see, the city's efforts to help people move out of this place aren't exactly going as planned.
See, I just wish that all those protesters that want to go and sing and talk about how bad Donald Trump is and scream and screech outside of his fucking building. Why aren't you over here on the subways helping these crazy people? Why aren't you helping these people? Like, some of these people are not even crazy. They're just, life is fucked, right? Like their leg doesn't work or something. Like, yeah, like every single time I see a protest somewhere, it's like, how can you be protesting some bullshit like this when you have people that are homeless? Like, if you just took your time and you put your gas money for $5, everybody put $5 together, make these people food, help them do something, it would be instantly, it's hard. Yeah, exactly, right? Well, that takes actual work. And it's a lot easier to go outside the Trump building and
You have to understand that to be Asmongold or to be Asmongold's fans, you don't believe that people can do more than one thing at a time. That you can do mutual aid and also protest at the same time. You can choose to do different things on different days, actually. I know, it's a really baffling concept, but yeah. Yeah. Also, why are we still on, like, people protesting outside of, like, Trump Tower? When was the last time this even happened? How many people are even doing this?
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm fighting fascism. Uh-huh. Pathetic.
So here we are at the 34th Street Herald Square subway terminal, which is quite large, quite warm, and sadly has become a visual display of the humanitarian crisis taking place beneath the streets of New York City. In fact, this particular area where we're standing right now with this green backdrop here, this used to be the entrance to a mall which has become abandoned, and it's a place where people have been sleeping in the evenings. At least that was what was going on down here until the city decided to take steps to stop that from happening. Steps which many say are extremely controversial. At the same time, look at this place. It's loud, it's bright, there's dripping water, there's trash all over the place. This is not...
It's a shithole. It's obviously a shithole.
I really don't appreciate the level of disrespect. That's coming from a guy who lives in his own filth. I don't appreciate this. This is go to New York and say that shit, huh? Go to New York, say that shit to some people. Tell me what happens to you, okay? Tell me if they tell you to throw hands, all right? Tell me. Tell me.
Like over in Europe, some places in Europe it's like this. In China, it's not like this as much. In Japan, it seems like it's not. This is a shithole. It's disgusting.
Somebody should be
shows some trash cans. This is disgusting. How dare you use trash cans to collect trash? You should throw it on the floor where it belongs.
Trying to live on a full-time basis, that's for sure. And city officials are defending their new plans as being necessary to help those who may not be able to help themselves.
Governor Kathy Hochul said today that Jordan Neely should have been removed from the subway. She is promising a new series of policies to address the state's mental health crisis. That will come as welcome news to those in need and to the boots on the ground, the police officers and social.
So here you have a group of police and outreach workers who invited the press to come with them to this very same subway terminal while they went about contacting, that's what they call it when they interact with people who might appear to be unhoused. And the New York
I live in
Post
London. It's not bad as this. Yeah, I mean, I bet. The reason I said not Europe is that I think that Europe has a lot of disparities. I bet there are places in Europe that are really bad, and there's other places that aren't really bad. That's the only reason I said that. Unhoused. Yeah. So people, the unhoused language, it's like undocumented immigrant. It's like if I go and I steal something from a store, am I an unreceived?
I have to go back. I'm sorry. That was just too much.
Europe is that I think that Europe has a lot of disparities. I bet there are places in Europe that are really bad, and there's other places that aren't really bad. That's the only reason I said that. Unhoused. Yeah. So people, the unhoused language, it's like undocumented immigrant. It's like if I go and I steal something from a store, am I an unreceipted customer? No, of course not. It is soft language that's meant to be a euphemism to make people think more positively about the group of people. That's what it is.
So we need to call the homeless people homeless because it would make you feel better? To dehumanize them? Huh? What I just don't.
This. It's annoying, never play into it. They're homeless and they're illegal immigrants. It's that simple. Any other language is a lie.
tagged along says that 96 individuals were found to be sleeping in this one terminal. And there's an extremely high likelihood that if this investigation had taken place in more places than just this...
Racist take? Is that my racist? Well, I guess I'm a racist. I don't give a fuck. Like, you want to think I'm a racist? Go ahead. Sure, I don't give a fuck. Like... Okay.
That the sad state of affairs down here would be even more obvious. Furthermore, this tag-along only included a stroll through this terminal. They didn't ride the trains, where there are many people who sadly are calling that their temporary home. And although the total number of homeless living in the subway is unknown, this article estimates it could be as high as 4,100 people. And there could be more people living down here in the subway than in some small towns in America, which is shocking. However, what's even more shocking striking is that the city's efforts to help move people from here to an actual place which has been set aside for them to stay haven't exactly been working.
Each night, nurses and social workers are teaming up with New York City police officers, part of the mayor's latest initiative to offer shelter and services to the homeless, and to involuntarily commit those with severe mental illness who refuse treatment.
So this is the part where things get controversial. Every night you've got these outreach teams that scour the subway looking for folks who might be down here and might not have anywhere else to go. And their goal is to help them go somewhere better than this. And the way this is done is by approaching an individual who might be sleeping or lounging about the platform and asking them if they need assistance, which activists say constitutes harassment, while ignoring the inhuman.
Activists say it constitutes harassment. Well, why aren't activists doing anything that constitutes help?
They are, you fucking idiot. They are. That's the problem. There's no amount of help that individuals can enact that will solve the problem of people becoming homeless. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Oh, that's right. Because they're activists. They act like they're helping.
We're just inventing people to get mad at. We're just inventing people. We're just straight up inventing people. That's it, right? Oh, if activists are so mad because they think we shouldn't put the homeless people in a meat grinder, then why aren't they doing anything? No, I don't know any activists. No, I don't talk to homeless people. No, I don't leave my house. But why aren't they doing anything, these people that I invented? Oh my God, dude.
Of letting people think this dangerous environment is the only place they've got to stay. However, the New York Post says of the 96 people who were contacted and asked if they needed assistance, only 16 agreed to accept. Yet the city does have the authority to involuntarily commit people who could be a danger to themselves and others, something the governor...
Which they should do, by the way. It's not even a question. They obviously should do this.
Says could have saved Jordan Neely, who was part of an altercation in the subway, which made national headlines. And sadly, the governor makes a good point. If you've got people...
Asmon really has to pick a side here. Are activists not supposed to not petition their government officials to change things? Or are they supposed to do something? It's so dumb. It's like... I'm sorry, if you petition your government to change policies in your city or state, that automatically means you are definitely not doing anything else. And it's such a fundamental misunderstanding about what political activism looks like, because this is just someone who's never spoken to or been friends with a single person that's been politically active. This guy's ideas of political activism is watching a trailer for a video game and being like, how dare they made her black? They made her black, dude. It's over for us. It's over. It's like, that's his idea of activism. So it's no surprise at all that when he thinks about other people and he thinks about activism, he thinks about the same level of contribution that he, engages in. But if you've spoken to any actual real activists, they do help people. The problem is there's only so much help. There's only so much time you can even spend in a day helping other people. You spoke to Hassan multiple times, so people are just dumb. Well, no, I'm not even talking about speaking to people. I said, like, he's not friends with any. It's a total joke. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it recently, but Lolo and Hassan were engaging in, shocking, I know, crazy, hear me out for a second, mutual aid. Where did I put it? Maybe I'll just go to Lolo's Twitter. Excuse me. Maybe the media tab? There we go. Shout out Water Drop LA. And they posted some pictures working with the staff over at Water Drop LA. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it is a mutual aid organization dedicated to helping crazy, it might be actually relevant in this story, homeless people. Join us for Water Drop every Sunday, 11 a.m. We bring 30 plus volunteers to Skid Row to help drop off 2,000 gallons of water. This is what we call Water Drop by packing 15 plus cars, trucks with water gallons, and fanning out across the region. We're able to reach a significant number of Skid Row residents. While a gallon a week is nowhere near sufficient for healthy survival in Los Angeles' hot climate, we hope this regular water distribution will curb some of the existing urgent need for clean drinking water. And they work with a bunch of other mutual aid networks. It's like, I know, crazy, but actually you can petition for your government to care about the homeless people that live there and also engage in mutual aid and help these people. It's so weird because you can only have like this level of baby brain take if you've never been to a protest ever. Because the amount of willpower it takes to go to a protest, the amount that you have to care about something, people don't care enough to vote. People don't care enough to fucking mail-in vote. The amount that you have to care to go and show up to protest. And anyone who's gone protesting also knows in the back of their head or in the back of their mind that there is a small percentage, a small chance that they will get arrested for disobedient behavior with cops. But I'm sorry to say, most of the people who go protesting for social causes they care about also actively in their personal life try to help these people. If you care enough to go protest, you care enough to participate in mutual aid. Shocking, I know. If you're like an activist, you actually don't just do nothing. Also, not everyone has a platform like Hassan. Him showing this on stream will help increase donations. Volunteers create other programs in cities that don't even have one yet. Yep. It's funny because Asmon's chat is absolutely moronic. This chat is equally moronic. Just saying the same inane echo chamber bullshit, but from the other side of the fence. I gotta say, you do seem like the type of person that would have a black and white profile picture. You type exactly like the type of person that would have a black and white profile picture. It's actually crazy. It's like, you're like typecast for the role. It's really sick, actually. Very demure. Watch, he's going to say something about like, I guess classic streamer doesn't want to engage with my intellectual critique and instead will make fun of me. Why should I be surprised? No, it's not lol phrenology. It's like Reddit phrenology. Please, sir, let me engage with you for a moment. Show me the moronic comments you have read in chat. Since they're in the room with us right now, show me one. Please. I'm sure it'll be very easy. And like the thing is, it's not that it's like Asmon's chat's like 20% of them are normal and they just like want to watch this guy play WoW, but they just sit through the rest of this garbage. And then the rest of them are just like insane. Like this guy, the solution is to build affordable housing outside of city centers, but that just doesn't make any money. And then this guy who's enforce no loitering laws, just enforce the law that's already in place. Yes, arrest the homeless people. That will help them get back on their feet. Yes, just put them all in jail. Yes. Surely a felony will help. Surely a felony will help them stop being homeless and help them get a job and participate in society. Famously, felonies are great for that. Just total brainlet. Just no words.
Living in the subway who are not in the right frame of mind to take care of themselves, and nothing is done. Those people are at risk.
They put everybody at risk, and they cost the city a lot of money. Like, let's say there's another Jordan Neely, and, you know, he gets choked out or killed. Well, this is going to be like the train is delayed, everybody's upset, there's a bunch of police that come down, there's a trial. This is collectively millions of dollars of a problem. $1 million problem. Multi-million-dollar problems. You can't let that shit happen. Shelters close the door till morning. You can't do drugs in there. That's why they won't go. Okay, well, I mean, if they're just sitting there smoking crack, then just arrest them.
I used to ride the train almost every single day in New York for like a decade. And I never once saw someone smoking crack. And I saw a lot of homeless people. And I never saw, not even once, someone smoking crack. I have no words. Like, completely out of your depth here. And just yapping anyways, because why not? It's crazy.
Like, I mean, you gotta do
Only
something.
I was the one smoking crack. In fact, I kept offering the crack and no one would take.
Thing, right? I mean, like, you can't have somebody doing that. I mean, that's not okay. That's it. Yeah.
1,000 have been approached in the past 3 months, and roughly 1/3 have accepted care, including treatment. The critics say that he should have a right to be in a public subway system on a public street, and he shouldn't be harassed by the city or by the police.
And the critics are so far removed from what everyday New Yorkers want.
Thank you. Bro, 100%. And that's not a New Yorkers thing. Anybody, anywhere would think that. It's complete.
Let's rewatch this interaction, shall we? Let's rewatch this.
1,000 have been approached in the past 3 months, and roughly...
I have to say, telling New Yorkers that any reasonable person would agree with Eric Adams is crazy.
1/3 have accepted care,
Let's see. I'm sure the Texan man knows what New Yorkers want.
including treatment. The critics say that he should have a right to be in a public subway system on a public street, and he shouldn't be harassed by the city or by the police.
And the critics are so far removed from what everyday New Yorkers want.
Thank you.
I can't even tell what that interview was even about. Because I can't tell if that's a random person on the street or what, but some guy who lives in New York, I don't know if that's someone in particular that in a position of power or whatever, but that was just a random person, as far as I can tell, that said critics think that they shouldn't be, harassed by the police. And then Eric Adams mansplains to this guy, or mayor-splains to this guy, actually, the critics are wrong, and that's not what New Yorkers want. And then it cuts.
Bro, 100%. And that's not a New Yorkers thing. Anybody, anywhere would think that. He's completely fucking right. Absolutely.
This morning.
So this report says 5,000 people have been approached by these outreach teams with better results than were witnessed in this very same terminal. And Mayor Adams has had some incredibly harsh words for progressive critics who say people should be allowed to live in the subway full time with no intervention because it's a public place.
What do you
He
say?
says not only is doing something like that inhumane, it is the opposite of what New Yorkers, average New Yorkers, are actually in favor of. Because
He's completely right.
But it's so stupid. Where are they going to go? What do you think making it illegal for them to be in the subway system solves? They're just going to go somewhere else in New York. This is so stupid.
Absolutely right. Adam sucks, though. What is that? Why would you even say that? He just said something that's accurate. What are you thinking about something else he said in the past that's unrelated to this? What? What are you even doing? Yeah, he's right about this. That's it.
New Yorkers know how much
guy who doesn't live in New York. Eric Adams is right about this.
Trigger word
they
Andy.
are paying in taxes, and when they get on the subway and they want to ride it, and they're either unable to, or there's no room to get a seat because someone happens to be living there, they say to themselves, "Where is this money going if it's not being used to take care of people who have nothing?" At the same time,
I've literally never thought that in my life ever once. It's never happened. This has literally never happened before. I have never gotten on the train and seen someone sleeping and thought, "Where's my money going? Hey, wait a minute." I have no words. I'm actually, I'm very annoyed at the number of people in this story that think they can speak for New Yorkers. I'm getting very annoyed. This is insane to me.
2025 is a local election year here in the city, which some say has a lot to do with why new steps are being taken to change how things have been getting done around here.
And what's going to happen is that I bet what's going to happen in New York is the same thing that happened like in a lot of places, is that because people that are like of a liberal leaning refuse to address and solve this problem, people will go towards a much more right-wing solution.
It's a bad solution, you fucking moron. Imprisoning the homeless people doesn't solve the problem. This isn't about morality. This isn't about left-wing or right-wing positions. This is about positions and policies that work. And any position that involves putting them in jail doesn't work long-term. That's currently our strategy and is currently not working. We have evidence and proof that the thing that works, the thing that helps everybody and saves the city money is housing first. Lots of other cities have solved this problem. You guys just don't want to because you want to have a right-wing position of, well, they didn't earn their housing, so they shouldn't have it.
What they actually want because of how fed up they are with the problem. And that's what's going to happen. They completely ignore it. Yeah, exactly. We're already there. Yeah, no, and I think that, like, I'm not, like, I don't live there, right? But, like, I heard that's kind of what happened in the Philippines. And it's, like, also, to a degree, what happened in El Salvador, too. It's an overcorrection. Yeah.
Because every single time,
guy who probably knows nothing about the Philippines. I think this is what happened in the Philippines.
people see
Argentina?
a person
No, I will not elaborate at all.
with nowhere else to go, sleeping in the subway or on a bus. It looks to them like there is a lack of leadership on this issue. At the same time, the mayor and the police commissioners say that they're fighting an uphill battle. City laws only allow them to do so much to help people who might be in a vulnerable, bad situation, and they want state laws to be passed to enable them to do more. And the specific thing they're looking at doing is codifying what is called involuntary removal.
This is a guy, he's got a Skittles box on his head.
This is a picture perfect.
Hello, goat.
Hi, stop. Thank you for the 9 months.
Yeah, the right thing to do is to let this guy just shamble around until something goes wrong. And here's another component.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not mad, chat. I'm not mad. Do you know?
DNMK comrade, DNMK comrade, DNMK comrade, DNMK comrade.
If you ask the average New Yorker what should be banned from New York subways, influencers or homeless people, I can promise you that it will be overwhelmingly influencers. And it's not even close. You want to know why? Because nobody gives a fuck. Even in this video, nobody is giving a fuck. Look, even in the video they're showing, no one's even looking at this guy. Nobody even cares. How is anyone falling for this? Obviously, this guy should not be doing this. Look at how affected everyone is around him. And, like, the video is just nobody looking.
To this. So we had a guy like this in Austin, and he was like really well liked. He was a homeless guy, but he was old and people beat the fuck out of him. And it was like a big story here in Austin. Everybody knew about it here in Austin. And the people like this are vulnerable. And like if you're going and you're in this situation, you're going to have people that are also homeless. You talking about Leslie? Nah, it was another guy. It was the guy that looked like Santa. Leslie was different. The picture of Dr. Pepper ads on the box? Yeah, exactly, right? And so, yeah, it was this really old homeless guy. Everybody loved him, right? And then people...
I'm from Austin. Literally nobody talked about this.
Beat the fuck out of him. And these people are actually like they're victims because also like if you're a violent person, I mean, this is a movie, right? So like this isn't really like a great example, but like you remember whenever like Patrick Bateman kills like this random homeless guy in like American Psycho? Well, I mean, fuck, we just had one of these things happen very recently, right? Like that crazy guy lit that woman on fire.
Oh my God, he was about to say Argentinian.
So yeah, no, I mean like that's and dog, yeah, exactly, right. And so it happens all the time, exactly. So it's like you think that you're trying to like do this person a favor by like have them out there, like somebody out there, like a bad person sees this as a punching bag.
Me talking to my audience. Anyways, you know that movie with Patrick Bateman? Oh, that movie was so good. Remember when he killed that homeless person? Yeah. Anyways, the Argentinian, whatever he was, he lit that woman on fire. You guys get what I mean? What is going on? What? What's
that's
happening?
Just what it is, because that's what people do.
We're just saying words.
Like people are just there's bad people out there, right? And they'll do that. And it's again, it's the denial and the delusion of reality that causes this form of extremely toxic altruism.
It's really like I rotate between being mad and then being sad and then being mad and then being sad. Because it's just like you don't even care enough to look at any of the solutions to any of these problems, but you automatically are assuming that the leftist position on this, which is housing first, can't possibly be the best thing in all ways because it's not cruel enough. Like, what a sad view of the world. That, like, solutions to problems have to be cruel. It's like, what happened to evidence, dude? What happened to facts over your feelings? What happened to that? What happened to that, dude? Mold is a dangerous thing, guys. Mold. Toxic altruism, is that a spell from WoW? I don't. Because he's trying to say that letting the homeless people stay in like the New York City subways is toxic altruism. That's bad for everybody. But he doesn't actually prove this, and he doesn't actually provide solutions for the problems other than like what, jailing them and kicking them out and then jailing them. And when actual leftists provide actual solutions to these problems that will work, that have been tested in countless cities and states, you just ignore them? Because the solution isn't cruel enough? Like, what? What?